began to talk to Jeremiah. He said, I'm not going to preach a message to you, but I'm going to give you a message about what you see. See, a lot of times we waiting for God to move in certain places. We waiting for God to do certain things. But God, like I said, is sovereign. He can do what he want to do, when he want to do it, and how he wants to do it. God is not limited. You can get a message just walking outside looking at the stars. You can get a message going outside looking at some birds. You can get a message by talking to your neighbor that lives next door to you. God is not limited. He said, Jeremiah, I want you to go down to the potter's house, and I'm gonna cause you to hear my word. Jeremiah begin to walk down to the potter's house. Can't you see in your mind Jeremiah walking, wondering what God is going to say? Jeremiah, as he take a step, he's wondering how God is going to speak to him. As he take a step, he wondering how God is going to relay the message. And as Jeremiah got down to the potter's house, he began to see something that he never seen before. He began to see the potter shaping something, fashioning something, and forming something. He began to see the potter work the wheel. He began to see the potter put together the clay. And all of a sudden, as he was looking at the potter, he began to see how the vessel that the potter was making began to be marred, began to be destroyed, began to start falling apart, began to start breaking up. And Jeremiah probably wondering in his mind, what is going on here? Why is the clay that the potter is making, why is it falling apart? Why is the clay that the potter is making, why is it breaking up? And Jeremiah started looking at it, and all of a sudden God started to speak to him. He started to say, Jeremiah, don't you see this clay that I'm fashioning? Don't you see this clay that I'm forming? Don't you see this clay that I'm putting together? This clay is a representation of Israel. This clay is marred. This clay is broken up. This clay is broken, and I need to put it back together. Oh, Jeremiah, he began to look, and all of a sudden the potter, who is a skilled man behind that clay, began to work the clay on what is called the kill. And sometimes in your life it feels like you're getting killed by the potter when it's throwing you, when it's shaping you, and when it's forming you. Sometimes you begin to say, what is going on with my life? Because I don't understand how my life is working. I'm broken because of the economy. I'm broken because of my marriage. I'm broken because of the kids. I'm broken. I don't have a car, but hold on, because the Lord, he is able to put you back together again. Somebody shout it. When we begin to look at the potter, we begin to look at some of the processes that the potter goes through. One of the processes that the potter goes through is a process called sintering. This is where the clay is put into a perfect rotational symmetry, and it's often the most and difficult process. Sometimes God got to center us because we have it in our mind that we know what's best. Sometimes God got to center us because we have it in our mind that we know what we're doing, and God got to put us in a place to where we can see that he is still in control. I can imagine in my mind when we look at the boy, the prodigal son, it wasn't until he was centered in the hog pen until he came to himself. Sometimes the potter got to center you. When we look at another process, we look at the opening process. This is the process by making a center hollow of the clay. It's molding the solid ball of clay. And sometimes God got to open you up. Sometimes God got to take you and put his hands into it and begin to open you so you can get all that you need on the inside. And not only get all that you need on the inside, but take everything that you don't need out of you. God got to open you up. The next process that God will do or the potter will do is to floor you. That flooring process is making a flat or rounded bottom of the clay. And sometimes in your life you feel like you're getting floored. You're being thrown to the left. You're being thrown to the right. You being picked up and thrown down again. Your life seems like it's taking a topsy-turvy. It seems like you're going through a whirlwind, but don't get discouraged. God is just flooring you. Another process is called throwing, and that throwing process is drawing up and shaping the walls and evening out the thickness. Sometimes God has to throw you because of some places in your life that's not conducive to what the Lord wants to do with you. Sometimes there's some places in your life that God got to thicken up, because sometimes we get soft in this race because of the trials and the tribulations of life, and sometimes God got to thicken you. And the last process is called trimming or turning. That trimming or turning process is removing excess clay that is excess to the vessel. Sometimes God got to trim you. Sometimes he has to turn you because of some things that's not good for your life. The enemy is always trying to make the vessel marred. The enemy is always trying to make the vessel broken. He don't want you to be whole. He don't want you to be complete. But I heard the Bible say after you have suffered a while, he's going to make you perfect. He's going to strengthen you. He's going to establish you. He's going to make you perfect. Look at somebody and say, neighbor, I may have been broken, but I'm not beyond repair. I may have been bruised, but I'm not beyond repair. I may have been hurt, but I'm not beyond repair. I may be in a hard place, but I'm not beyond repair, because I serve a God that is able. I serve a God that knows what he's doing. I serve a God with power, and not just some power, but somebody sung a song that God's got all power, and he don't need no help. Touch somebody and say, neighbor, the God that I serve don't need no help.